Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, wonderful individual you. Today, I would like to speak about the more we align and become our I, capital, the more we deepen, expand, and mature our spirit. The spirit that is behind the ego, the spirit that allows us to be in activity outwardly, inwardly, you name it. The more we become awake to our own core, our own center, the more we are filling it and maturing it, really. For the more we are awake, aware, and present, the more we take in, perceptions of any kind, should they be phenomena or thought or psychic phenomena or, the idealistic, you name it. It's all about in where these different areas fits into the situation that's needed. For sometimes we need to see things from that angle, other times we should see things from this angle. And that is as to not become one-sided. One-sidedness is the true enemy of real knowledge and truth, because it is only a one-sided either or dualistic when it is not even reality. It is both and we should be capable, at least after practice, to be able to hold two truths like that at the same time within our own being, because where I come from is individual, where you come from is individual, but we both live in the same world. Hence, my experiences and your experiences are just as valid, and it is not about competing about who has the best reality. That is just silly. It's about making reality a better place through maturing, growing, becoming more and more nurturing, warm, gentle, nourishing with our own being. Outwardly towards other, inwardly towards ourselves, we name it. Or also, it's this: when you take in perceptions, you also are awake and take in memories. When you take in memories and reflect backwards to any point in time you have experienced and take forth this memory, conjuring it up, the more we do this, the more we see and perceive there as many detail and as much of how we felt and what we thought as possible, we can truly more or less experience it just as we experienced it backwards in time. That is also how we learn from our past mistakes and past situations and experiences. And that is also how we deepen and expand our I, our capital I, our ego. And our ego, we purify, uplift, and ennoble our ego so that when we are within our physical, etheric, astral, we are not necessarily dragged along on an emotional roller coaster, because we allowed ourselves to get submerged into these into these emotions. But instead, we kind of both feel the emotions and kind of not acting upon it, just reflecting, transforming it, sensing it. And this is far more difficult than one can, more difficulty done than said, because it requires us to take a responsibility for how we feel inside. So if we have a lot of turmoil there, if we have a lot of chaos within our own inner emotional being, it will be a very much uncomfortable situation. But that is why we take one step at a time. You dip your toe in, and then you dip part of your foot, and it takes as long as it takes. We are ready when we are ready to truly face certain realities within us. And once we are ready, we are presented these, and we are also given the inner surge of strength that's needed to overcome it, because you have made yourself ready for whatever truth that is presented to you. It's also about trust here. The contentment, the confidence, the inner anchoring, centeredness comes from Looking forward, you trust and have a knowing that you are going to be guided towards the proper and right experiences and situations that allow you to grow as deeply and as widely as possible. And once you have that contentment, it's about what we do now. What are we doing in actions now? How are we paying attention? How are we thinking? How are we feeling? How are we directing our own inner forces towards what's true, good, and beautiful? Or neglecting to do so? That is also reality. But as we said, when people are ready, they will begin their journey. And we are only nudging, we are only guiding, we are only giving suggestions and recommendations. Because we do not touch upon others' will. To impose our own will upon another person, even if it is from an unconscious, prideful, or arrogant state of being, is still black magic. You wish to bend someone to your will, don't do that. Unless, of course, you wish to have that type of karma on you. And what would happen if you change place with that person you wish to impose your will upon? I'm just giving you this one. It's about holding the inner will of the human being sacred. It's the innermost holy place of the human being, our will. And we are working on our thoughts and our emotions first, as to indirectly work upon our will. Our will is part of working in our thoughts and feelings, you see. But our thoughts and feelings have to be really have to be purified and ennobled, as for our will to be as pure as possible. For thought is old will, in a sense. What we think now is from a long time ago, at a certain point, will impulses, actions. So when we now can become awake and aware to our own thought and feelings, we can come to direct our actions indirectly, in a sense. So it goes, when our thoughts becomes beautiful and our feelings follow, morally speaking, obviously, our direction, our will guide us towards better pastures. Not better pastures, but more beautiful pastures. Because that is where our inner, well, preference lie. Our preference with our thought and feelings lies in beauty and insights, knowledge, truth, and, well, what can be perceived in this wonderful materialistic sense perceptible world of ours. And then we can come to understand the spiritual underlying this. For physical happenings and outer forms, shapes, and behaviors and such is already an indication of that thing or that being's spiritual reality behind it. So what we see physically with our senses is just an effect of the spiritual higher worlds. For we have come from we have come from heat, and then to gas, and then to water, and now to earth. And now we are meant to again spiritualize this dead earthly mineral being of this earth, so that we can reach the next stage of development, which is far more astralized and spiritual than we are now. But I digress. It's for each and every one of us to become awake and aware to that our ego, our I, can also mature, and within our own other three sheaths can work more dignified, work more calmly, work more clearly, and also aware and awake. So every time you experience something, you are more capable of handling it in the if we are going to just use a trivial matter. But yeah, I think I will leave you with this today. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you, and may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative, inspirational, and healing to the world. so others can choose to follow when time is right. May you be safe and sound. See you. Love you, my dear sibling. Goodbye.